everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the chapter Life Processes, isn't it? Under that, we were actually discussing about the very important life process called transportation, where we discussed about the blood, components of blood vessels, different types of blood vessels, and also the way in which the blood will pass inside a body, isn't it? And a very important things about the heart, how to draw the heart easily. So all these were the things we have discussed in the last video. And one more, a small part is left out in the transportation of human beings. So that is about the lymph. So what is this lymph? Lymph is also just like a blood, but it is not a blood. It is a colorless liquid tissue that is present inside a body. It's called lymph. So what I can write here is lymph is nothing but colorless liquid tissue. Okay, so which also helps in the transportation. This guy also helps, which also helps in transportation. Okay, inside a body. This is called lymph. So actually, how this lymph gets generated is from the blood itself. Observe this carefully. So imagine we have certain tissues. Okay, tissues in the sense what? Group of cells. So these are certain cells of some tissues. And this tissue is entirely covered with blood capillaries, isn't it? So these tissues are covered. They are entirely covered with blood capillaries. What do you mean by blood capillaries, isn't it? The capillaries which are present near the cells or tissue where exchange of gases occurs. Yes, so we have seen a picture on blood capillaries also, how that exchange of gases can occur. Okay, so arterioles are the guys which will bring oxygenated blood, right? They will give oxygen to this particular cells. And in the cell, cellular respiration occurs. Cellular respiration in the sense glucose will break down, for that oxygen is required. After that, carbon dioxide is produced. So carbon dioxide, that is waste material produced in the cells, will go to the venules, from venules to main vein. Okay, so those arterioles and venules gets connected with each other at the site of tissues or cells, isn't it? Say these are the tissues which is entirely covered with blood capillaries. Okay, so imagine this is how the blood capillaries are running. Imagine here one capillary is there, here one capillary is there. Okay, where blood is flowing. Clear? Fine. And what happens is, there are certain gaps between the cells, isn't it? So these gaps are actually called as intercellular gaps. They are intercellular gaps, or I can say intercellular spaces also. Okay, what happens is actually these blood capillaries will have a small pores in the sense holes. Okay, so they will have a small pores through which some amount of plasma. Okay, what do you mean by plasma? Plasma is nothing but that colorless part of the blood. The liquid part of the blood is called plasma, isn't it? So that particular plasma, it will be drained out. I mean to say, it will get collected in this intercellular spaces. Okay, why this plasma comes here? Because you will have a very small holes in the blood capillaries actually. Okay, so that's the reason plasma will come outside and it will get collected in this intercellular spaces. Not only plasma, this particular liquid, this is a liquid now, liquid which is colorless. colorless. This colorless liquid itself, we call it as lymph. This is what we call it as lymph. Okay. This lymph contains, plasma of blood. What does it contain? Contains plasma of blood. Okay, plus some WBCs and some protein also. Some blood protein also it will contain. See how does this lymph is getting formed? See, since blood capillaries have small holes, through the holes the plasma is getting escaped along with some WBCs. Okay, and also some amount of protein that is present in a blood. So this collection of things is called lymph. Okay, so lymph is the one which is actually you are getting from blood itself, near the tissues. So where it is getting collected? It is getting collected in the intercellular spaces. Okay, and now this particular liquid which is there in the intercellular spaces, this liquid will flow into lymph capillaries. Okay, so you will have certain capillaries which we call it as lymph capillaries. Okay, so that liquid will flow into lymph capillaries. From lymph capillaries, it will flow to lymph vessels. It will flow to lymph vessels. You will be having actually so many lymph capillaries. Okay, so from lymph capillaries, it will flow to lymph vessels. These guys, I'll show the arrow mark here. And the small pipes are there, branches. This is what we actually call it as lymph capillaries. Okay. So from lymph capillaries, where it is moving to lymph vessel. Imagine this is a lymph vessel. Lymph vessel, in the sense lymph pipes. Okay, so from the lymph pipes, actually it will move to a bigger vein. This is what we call it as vein, vena cava. Okay, vena cava is present all over the body, isn't it? Vena cava is the one which will collect deoxygenated blood. Vena cava is nothing but, a branches of main vein. Okay, that network is called vena cava. This is what we call it as main vein. So ultimately, where is our lymph is getting passed to? Lymph is finally moving to the vein. Okay, so from vein directly it will move to the heart. It will get mixed up in the blood now. Okay, so how did a lymph has formed? Between a tissue, whatever capillaries are there on the tissue, that will have a small holes. Through the holes, the colorless liquid, that is plasma part of a blood, along with that some WBCs and some protein will come and gets collected in the intercellular spaces. From there, you will have some lymph capillaries. Okay, through that it will come and it will reach to the lymph vessels. From the lymph vessel, it will directly go to it will get mixed up in a main vein. That means ultimately it is getting mixed up with the blood. Okay, so this is all about a lymph. So one slight flow chart, let us try to write it for lymph actually. Okay, say you all know how is the lymph produced and all, right? You will have small holes on a capillaries, so that lymph will be coming out. So components of a lymph you have to remember. What are they? It contains plasma of a blood, WBCs and protein. So what I say is lymph collected in intercellular spaces of tissues. Okay, from there it will come to lymph capillaries. From lymph capillaries, it will come to lymph vessels, isn't it? From lymph vessels, it will get mixed up in the veins. Okay, so in a vein, lymph is mixed lymph is again mixed with blood. Okay, so that is a impure blood. Actually, whatever is there in a veins is impure blood, that is deoxygenated blood. From veins it will directly go to the heart. Okay, it will get mixed up with the blood and it will go to the heart, you know. So this is what we call it as lymph. So it is also a transport medium only. It can also transport a few things, like, you know, some amount of carbon dioxide will be present in a lymph, protein will be there in a lymph. Just like a blood, how it can transport various things from one part of the body to another part, you know, this lymph also can transport certain things from one part of the body to another part of a body. Okay, so the main function of the lymph is, just try to remember function of the lymph. You see here, our lymph contains WBCs, isn't it? White blood cells are there in a lymph. So that, what is the duty of WBCs actually? They will fight against infection, isn't it? Since the lymph has some amount of WBCs, so lymph plays a role in fighting against diseases. Okay, so it plays a very important role in the immune system. Why? Because it has some amount of WBCs. Okay, so fights, first point that you can write here is fights against infections. Why? Due to the presence of WBCs. Okay, and one more important thing is, it can transport digested fat from small intestine. Right? You all have studied in the digestion where fats will get digested in the small intestine. Yes or no? With the help of bile juice and pancreatic juice, fat things are broken up into smaller pieces. That is what we call digestion of fats. And those digested fat can be carried by lymph. Okay, so that is another function here. What I can say is transports digested fat from small intestine. Okay, so this is another function of lymph. Two functions of a lymph, and try to remember what does a lymph contains and how the lymph is produced. So this is all about the lymph. And now let us try to answer few questions on transportation. Just look at the first question here. What would be the consequences of a deficiency of hemoglobin in our bodies? If you don't have hemoglobin, enough amount of hemoglobin in a blood, what would happen? That is what the question. So what would happen? Think of the role of hemoglobin inside the body. Hemoglobin has more attraction with oxygen, isn't it? That's the reason hemoglobin is the one which is carrying oxygen through a blood, isn't it? So if that hemoglobin is not there in a blood, what would happen? Definitely oxygen passage stops through the blood. If the cells does not have enough amount of oxygen, what would happen? The cellular respiration stops, isn't it? So if hemoglobin is not there in a blood, you know what will happen? Oxygen passage can be disturbed in a blood. What happens? Oxygen passage is disturbed in a blood. Okay, usually if that condition is called anemia, you know, anemia is what the name you will call for that condition. Which condition? If hemoglobin count is less in a blood, we say that particular person is anemic. Anemic in the sense what? less hemoglobin count is there. If you have less hemoglobin count, what would happen? Oxygen cannot be supplied that easily through the blood. You know, the disease, if hemoglobin is less, what is the disease? It is called anemia. Fine. Next question. Why do arteries do not have valves? I have told you a very important difference between an artery and a vein, isn't it? Vein carries deoxygenated blood. Artery carries oxygenated blood. Veins will have valves, isn't it? If this is a vein, you will find valves. If this is an artery, there are no valves. What is the reason? If you can understand the duty of the valve, you can easily give the answer. What is the duty of the valve here? The valves will prevent blood to go back. Yes or no? It will prevent the backflow of a blood. Isn't it? So if the blood is coming in this direction, it has to come because it's a deoxygenated blood, guys. It's an impure blood. It should go in only one direction. If it is going back, what is the use? It shouldn't go back. Isn't it? So what happens is the valve will prevent the backflow of the blood. That is the duty of the valve. Arteries do not have any valves here. It's because, you know, blood is directly pumped into the arteries. Blood is directly pumped into the arteries. Okay, where blood will flow with a particular pressure. Okay, that's the reason you will not find any valves in the artery, right? And actually the blood flows in a vein with less pressure, but in artery the blood flows with very high pressure. Okay, so blood, and it's an oxygenated blood. Arteries always carry oxygenated blood. Okay, and they are coming at a stretch with a particular pressure, so that particular blood will never go back. You know, backflow of the blood is not observed in arteries. That's why veins are not necessary here. Okay, so what is the answer you will give here? Backflow of blood does not occur in arteries because blood flows with high pressure. Blood flows with high pressure. Okay, that pressure pushes the blood forwards only. Blood will never go back once again. There's no necessity of valves here. But here there is a chance of blood going back because the pressure of the blood is very much less. That's the reason, to prevent that, we need to have valves in the veins. Clear? Fine. And these are the two questions which you have to answer. Post the answer in a comment box. Third question, which one carries oxygenated blood from lungs to heart? Okay, and the fourth question is, which one carries deoxygenated blood from heart to lungs? So two questions are for you. Please post the answers in the comment box. So thank you so much. With this, we have completed transportation in human beings. So in my next video, we will discuss about transportation in plants. Till then, keep revising the concept. If you like our video, please like, share and subscribe for more updates. Thank you so much.